name is Jessica Root. I'm the executive director here at House of Mercy.
What inspired you to get involved with House of Mercy?
So I've been here for about 5 years. One of the first things that I loved when I came for an interview 5 years ago was just this grotto area actually behind me. So I actually used to work at the National Shrine Grotto in Abbotsburg, Maryland, and that is really close to my heart. So just the focus on building relationships with our clients and our customers, our volunteers, as well as the faith-based aspect of House of Mercy really inspired me to come work here.
So can you tell me a little bit about your own journey to help people?
Sure. So I have been focused on service for most of my life. Recently I was reflecting on I think the first remembered experience I have was probably when I was like 6 or 7 years old, just packing up food during the holidays at our Catholic parish and going to drive and drop it off to different families in need. That's back when I lived in Michigan, and I think just ever since then have just really been called to do service in a lot of different ways throughout my life, especially when I was in school. And so I think it was just a natural fit for me to continue to do that in my career and utilize my own skills and knowledge and experience to really help those in need in a bigger way. So.
Can you tell me about House of Mercy?
Sure. So House of Mercy is about 19 years old. We're turning 19 this March, which is really exciting. It really started off as a prayer ministry focused on divine mercy, and prayer always leads us to action. So those that had started it at the beginning, some of our founders, Kelly and Father Jack, and all those who served with them, just really felt called to go out and help those who are experiencing homelessness in DC with food, clothing, and just building relationships, washing their feet. And, as the saying goes, it just grew exponentially. More people started dropping by and dropping off food and clothing. More people started volunteering. And now 19 years later, we're here in this our current location with a 20,000 square foot building, a full-blown food pantry, thrift store, and donation center. And everything gets processed in its own way. So for instance, the clothing gets processed. It at least has to see 3 eyes. 3 sets of eyes before it goes in the thrift store to make sure that it's good quality. We only put the best stuff in the thrift store. So the clothing will get sorted, good and bad. So if it has stains or a button's broken or zipper's broken or something like that, we'll sell it to a vendor as rags and they'll make it into something else. And then it'll get sorted, women's tops and men's pants, and then it'll get hung. So it sees at least those 3 sets of eyes before it goes into the thrift store. And then everything else kind of gets processed in different ways as well. So the household section, you might get a household item donated and get priced and put in the store within 10 minutes of donation, and you might get a linen, for instance. It might take a week or something to get in the store because we need to measure all the comforters, or we need to sanitize the pillows. So it's just a different process for linens, for instance. So we're helping currently about 120 families a day right now with free food and clothing Monday through Friday, and many more items as needed.
How does it feel for you to be helping in the community?
I mean, it's always great. Obviously, I think one of the things that we always talk about in kind of the service industry, the volunteer, when you're volunteering, usually you're trying to give of yourself to help somebody else, but usually you end up getting the most help or getting the most out of that experience because when we are giving of ourselves, we're always receiving. God's grace and mercy work really well that way. So it's just wonderful to see kind of everything the House of Mercy is doing for the community. Like I said, we helped about 54,000 people last year, and we're slated to help about over 70,000 this year. And it's not just those basic necessities, but we're really here to build relationships with people. It's not just those kind of physical needs, but you have to satisfy those physical needs before you can satisfy those emotional, mental, spiritual needs as well. So we're always here, again, building up relationships, just trying to uphold the dignity of each person. And that's, through a lot of those conversations is where you can really see the impact we're having in this community, which is just a wonderful experience. So in here we're packing all the carts. We always start with a dry good bag and a rice and beans bag. And then anything fresh that we got donated that day, we try to give to our clients so that it gets out as soon as possible. Here we have a lot of our food rescue teams coming in to drop off some food that they've collected from other grocery stores and restaurants that donate to us. We have probably about 20 to 30 different partners in that respect, and we have over 100 volunteers that are food rescue volunteers that go to pick up the food and drop it off each day for us, which is really wonderful. Everything gets sorted here and either put on the shelves, put in our refrigerator, and then we only give unexpired food, so we have that higher standard here. Usually the USDA standards are that canned food can be given out about 3 years expired, and bags and boxes can be about 1.5 years expired, but we want to keep that higher standard and uphold the dignity of each person in that way. So we want to make sure that we're giving out just the best stuff for our clients. And then we have some volunteers who are packing all of our dry good bags and our rice and bean bags. And then we get a lot of big deliveries from some of our partners on the other side as well. We gave out about $1.5 million worth of food last year in assistance, and we purchased about $100,000 worth. So $100,000 is still a big amount of money, and we need those donated funds because we need to always purchase some food to make sure that we're supplementing all of our donations, to make sure that our clients get at least the very basic amount in their carts every time they come in, and it's consistent. However, we really rely on our partnerships and our individual donors to make sure that we're getting those donations in each year.
Do you see families' confidence rise when they are here getting the food and clothes they need?
Absolutely. All the time. I mean, it's so hard for any of us to ask for help. I mean, that's just a human thing, right? And just to kind of let go of that pride and to be able to, walk through the doors to begin with is so hard for most of our clients. And so often, I could probably tell 100 stories, but some of the most common ones are especially young mothers who are pregnant will come in needing help. We'll help them with any food and clothing, as well as baby items, diapers, wipes. We do like a baby bundle for them. And almost always, our staff are congratulating them and, excited for them for, having a baby. And almost always, they are in tears, just saying that we are the first ones that we're able to help them, and we're excited for them and actually congratulated them. And so just the difference between when they walk in the door so defeated, not knowing, how to raise a child with, very little resources and very little, assistance within their own networks, and walking out the door, with a full cart of food and other items, especially for their baby, as well as just, our excitement for them. There's a weight lifted off their shoulders after, when they're leaving. And we see that for so many people in different circumstances. There's, a lot of organizations around here are so able and willing to help, except they have a lot of restrictions as well based on their own funding and their own programs. And for us, we welcome anybody. We don't have any income guidelines or geographical boundaries or anything like that. So many of our clients have already called around to several different organizations and either didn't get a response, or they don't qualify for their organization, or they've already been to several other organizations, and they still need help. And so to come here, they're just so excited when they leave, because they really feel like, this is a family environment and they were really welcomed, which is, the most gratifying to see. And that's what we're here for.
So you do a lot to help others, but what do you do to help your own mental health?
Such a great question. This is always a really hard job, especially for our direct program staff. So I think one of the things that I'm always focusing on is the health of our staff, including mental health. So for instance, we have a couple team days throughout the year. And our last team day, I had a therapist, a psychologist come in and talk about mental health, talk about kind of the emotional, being emotionally drained, hearing so many hard stories, that emotional fatigue, and what can we do to really make sure that we can help ourselves. I think that really looks very different for every individual person. And so, some of the things are turning to prayer, or some of the things, just taking a break during the day, making sure you're talking to somebody. I think it looks different for every person, or, doing something fun. For me personally, I know that it's, sometimes I just need to take a break. Sometimes I definitely need prayer all the time. I know that I need to talk to a friend, when I need to get something out. And one of my big outlets is also journaling. So I usually journal every day, and I recognize those days that I forget to journal. Those are a little bit harder days. So that's something that I can really lean on to help my own mental health.
Yeah, how important is faith for your mind, body, and spirit?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're asking me, which you are, I think that is essential. I reflect all of the time that if I didn't have my faith, I don't know where I would be. Really, it doesn't, in some sense, it doesn't really matter what faith you are a part of, but as long as you have something to believe in there, I think that is, and the understanding that, God is in charge and God is actively working in our lives. I think that's so important for people to lean on, because no one human being can really fulfill us, and certainly no activity or job or anything else can. So I think it is 100% essential to really rely on faith. And I do every day, almost every moment of my day. So it's super important.
Where do you want to see House of Mercy in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh, great question. So we are, in conjunction with the board, talking about our strategy in the next couple of years to see really what we need. And by that, I mean what our clients really need. So we're always about kind of filling the gaps and making sure that those people in our community that really need resources are able to get to them. And so currently we are just really trying to solidify all of our programs. We're trying to kind of increase some of our extra programs, like for instance our mobile pantry. We just did kind of a revamp of it. We were providing food to about 100 seniors at 3 different apartment complexes, but we are actually opening that up to anybody that's homebound. So we want to kind of increase that. We know there are a lot of people that are not able to leave their house because of medical conditions or some other specific circumstance, and they're really struggling with loneliness or just some of that mental health issue, or but they're also struggling with the physical. They don't have food in their fridge. So we're opening that program up. We're doing kind of a soft launch this year, so that we can make sure that those people are being provided for, and they're not kind of left unaided. There's really no other program around here that's doing that kind of thing. So we're kind of looking at some of those little programs right now and making sure that they are the best they can possibly be and in line with our mission. And so that's what we've been focusing on now. Like I said, our client numbers have been increasing so dramatically right now, so we're just trying to keep up with the resources, with our volunteers, with monetary donations, with in-kind donations. We are really in an urgent need state right now for all of those resources because our client numbers have been skyrocketing in the past couple of months because of the need. So right now we're just kind of really focused on that, but we are looking to the future to see what the needs are in the community and how we can potentially fulfill that. So,
how can people reach out and learn more?
Sure. So one of the best things is just going to our website, houseofmercyva.org, VA as in Virginia, and we have a lot of information there and a lot of kind of resources to point you in the right direction, whether you're looking to donate something in our donation center, donate food, or coming to volunteer, or you're a potential client and need resources. So our website is a great resource, and we try to keep that really up to date. And all our contact information is there as well. So feel free to give us a call. We always try to answer the phone so we can be reachable and answer any questions you might have.